We've got some recent footage we're taking a look at of Ukrainian sappers training with Spanish forces. Now, what is a sapper and how prepared are these Ukrainian forces for this mission? Well, we're going to break it all down right now. Let's get into it. And okay, wait, I'm going to point this out because YouTube's going to say something. This is all training. This takes place in Spain. So don't demonetize me, please. Now, I want to point some stuff out first off. This usually when you're deploying smoke grenades, right, this is used, of course, to cover movement. What I think, and I've watched this already, what I think we're looking at here is a breaching operation. And breaching is, of course, when you have a defensive position or obstacles in place by an enemy, oftentimes concertina wire or razor wire, you have to rely on your combat engineers to break through those obstacles, create a breach, allowing your infantry to enter, in this case, trench formations, to enter these trench formations and clear them out. Right. So they're practicing, I suspect, first using smoke to obscure the battlefield, allowing them to approach, clear a hole of not just the razor wire and concertina wire, but of mines and other obstacles, and then mark it for infantry to advance into the breach. That's what I think they're doing here. They're continually putting down smoke grenades in order to allow them to work. You can see they're using flags to signal. This is kind of a NATO technique from the 80s, using flags to signal to their infantry that the breach is clear, that they can now begin to enter the trench area through the designated breaching zones, which I suspect is probably marked by this yellow flag and another yellow flag to the side. What's, of course, interesting about this is we haven't actually seen that many obstacle emplacements in this conflict. A lot of the footage of trenches, the trenches are, well, trenches. They don't usually have barbed or concertina wire, usually because, of course, concertina wire both locks your forces in from advancing as well as stopping the enemy from advancing on you. But I wonder if in less active areas of the front, like Zaporizhzhia, if you would actually see more concertina wire and more emplaced defenses. So they are sort of hustling, but you see, okay, this is what I think I'm talking about. Notice how there's this literal breach in concertina wire. That's what I think they were training to create, a concertina wire breach. And again, you got to think there's the obstacles you can see, which is, you know, just razor wire being peeled back. But then you also have to clear it of mines. If there's other obstacles, you've got to make sure you've got that cleared and relatively speaking, relatively secure. And for those of you who don't know, combat engineers are generally synonymous with sappers, and their focus of expertise is clearing obstacles, basically combat construction and destruction. This can include explosives, it can include breaching, it can also include bridging and building fighting positions. Okay, so note some of the differences. Note the flags here. That's telling you what sort of who is who in this scenario. So this is one of the trainers, right, who's up here, and you notice he's pulling security. Then somebody gets in front of him. I'm not really clear on the process here, but you can see this looks like a Spanish formation, I think. And it looks like there's some... Let's see, I'm really unclear. These guys look like a mess, honestly. I don't think they're Spanish. I thought, I watched this once already. I think these guys are just wearing Spanish uniforms, honestly, because there's some like weirdness here, right? Like this is a weird vibe because you see he's not really looking down the sights. He's standing to the side. A professional soldier is going to know that their defensive, when they're standing in a combat zone, they want to have their chest plate, their body armor facing forward. Standing to the side, you can literally see that his armor plates are facing directions that don't really confer protection. If he believes the threat is to his front, he's going to get to the front. Again, compare this to how you've seen the Ukrainian Foreign Legion move. Those guys are combat tested. They move very differently. This guy seems like he kind of is doing the right thing, like good training, not a huge level of confidence. This is a weird call, standing in front of someone else who's pulling security. I don't love it. Again, this guy seems like he kind of knows what he's doing, but you notice, look at the straps, the way that these, if you've handled your weapon for a long time, you're going to have a good sense of how you need to have the the strap on it. See, some of these guys are okay. See, this dude is just lollygagging. This guy is lollygagging. They don't seem to understand the seriousness with which they need to conduct mount operations. Some of them appear to, and then some of them appear not to. This is pretty classic of soldiers who are untrained and not especially enthused about being soldiers. We saw, this is sort of the behavior we would see from Afghan soldiers or police, where some would clearly have a real commitment, a real poise, and a real seriousness about the job and about training. And then some would have virtually no seriousness at all. See this guy? This dude looks like a mess. His uniform is a mess. His strap is a huge mess. Everything is a mess, right? You see this guy, notice how he moves. The weapon is in position. His trigger finger is out. This is someone who's taking soldiering pretty seriously. Again, just look and notice the mixed bag in how they move.
Never very prepared, so I would prefer that they have more formation and more possibility to be stronger and prepare for all the situations they can have there.
So I think what she's trying to say, there's some weird translations there. I think she's saying you're never as prepared as you want to be. I wish they had more time to prepare, which is a common theme among trainers, that oftentimes they say, recently in the last maybe month, a lot of trainers have said, I wish we had more time. I wish we could get these soldiers to a higher professional standard. I wish we had time to instill more fundamental combat skills in them. But we have to give them the skills that hopefully will allow them to survive on the battlefield. And so this is another core aspect of being a combat engineer or a sapper, and that is explosive charges. Blowing things up, it sounds easy. Blowing things up in war, it shouldn't be, that should be everyone's job, right? But what I'm talking about is destroying things with confidence. And that requires understanding how explosives behave, and understanding exactly what you want to destroy, whether you're using a charge to breach a door, whether you're using a charge to clear a minefield. Even different charges are required to disable, for example, a mine. Let's say you believe an area, you uncover a mine or an improvised explosive device. You can use explosives to clear that mine, but you have to understand how they behave. In Afghanistan, it wasn't uncommon to have engineers actually get certified to clear certain classes of IED because, again, they were confident that their experience with these explosives would enable them to do so.
Sí, estamos en un taller de conformación de cargas para el breaching. El breaching es un sistema que usamos para introducirnos en casa de una forma rápida y eficaz. Al final.
My Spanish isn't great. He's describing, I think, different shapes like boxes and stuff, and how to quickly put them together to do different things.
Lo tenemos distribuido en breaching con cargas explosivas y breaching con medios mecánicos.
Bretin. I don't know what Bretin is. But yeah, you can see they're getting different shapes of the charges to achieve different effects.
Well, I hope they stay alive. I hope they can had all the information to stay alive and to win this war.
This guy looks a little more serious now, but this is really common to see these sort of low and medium motivation volunteers. It's funny. Some people just don't really care. So it's sort of like some people view it like high school, right? Like there's sometimes you would have friends who were smart, sometimes even friends who were hardworking, who just sat in the back of class in high school and did this and like sort of, I guess, turned in assignments and like sort of, I guess, like whatever the bare minimum effort was, that's what they exerted. And in training for combat, the bare minimum effort should be pretty high. It's sort of like training for a boxing match, right? That's the way to think of this. You can train for like a 5K with the bare minimum effort. You can sit there, you could say, okay, I got to run 3 days a week, get out of the house. And you know what? You do it. If you do that, you're going to do fine. The difference is a boxing match. Another human being is going to try to kick your ass. And you have to train like someone who the bare minimum is training like you want to kick their ass. And so that's the problem, is that you have to train like a boxer, not like a high school kid trying to pass algebra. This course may be pass-fail, and that's sort of the fundamental motivation problem of training, is that this course is pass-fail. You complete the course, you're not going to fail out, they're not going to send you back. So some people are like, why should I give a shit? Why should I make sure my uniform is put on just correctly? Why should I give a shit about how I carry this weapon? And the answer should be, because someone will try to kill you, and you will have to face down a Russian. So you should be serious. But some people just don't have that, right? It's just like school, right? Why do I need to learn calculus? It's like, well, if you want to, go to college or even get a good job, you have to graduate high school. But some people don't even think that far ahead. And those people do become adults. They do be adulting. See, this guy, he's like trying. This dude also doesn't give a fuck. You see this Rambo carry thing? He always looks like he's in pain. And they're like walking in front of their buddy. Okay, this kind of kills me. So somebody's like sort of, I don't understand. I don't fully grasp the intent here. This dude's chilling against a wall. These guys don't have like some of them have a very serious combat formation. This dude here, this dude. These three guys are moving with purpose. And this one kind of is too, but the kilting the rifle is weird. But that's okay. That's okay. There's nothing fundamentally wrong. And this guy appears to be taking things kind of seriously. This dude's chilling, and this dude doesn't give a fuck. Oh, this is a mess. Okay, wait. I want to point out an annoying issue here. Normally, so you notice this dude runs out. Look at what happens here. Someone just sprints across this open area. Someone needs to get security down, like point a weapon and look down the road first, then run out into the road. See. Everyone's looking in the same direction. It's like I said, these guys are newly mobilized troops.
For the Spanish government for all the help they are giving, and I hope all the world will keep helping Ukraine, because we really need it.
There you go. There's somebody taking it serious. That dude kind of serious. There's a lot of kind of serious people here. I'd say the majority seem to be taking it seriously. And then a subset just seem to be phoning it in. That's like my opinion of this. Yeah, this dude looks like he is exhausted. I've seen multiple shots of him switching the weapon, switching what hand he carries the weapon in, because his hands are tired. And that's just a sign of lack of training. It's hard. It's hard. I get it. It's like a different muscle to carry a weapon at the high ready like that for a long period of time. Yeah, this like switching hands is weird to me because it's wrong. But he's hustling. He's hustling like he's taking this seriously. And I think those guys deserve credit for that. Yeah, and that's the thing. You can't teach motivation, man. This is why the Afghan government failed. Ultimately, I mean, imagine if the U.S. military spent $2 trillion training the Afghan police and military. Imagine if we spent $2 trillion training the Ukrainian military. The Ukrainian military is here to fight. Their soldiers are, if they're not motivated now, they will be motivated in the future, and they will go out and the difference is huge. And the only difference is motivation. There's some other differences, right? Like a baseline level of education. You know, the average Afghan couldn't read or write. And oftentimes they would, like police or military forces would get sent to like remedial reading and writing school before they could even be taught, you know, how to be soldiers. So you had some stuff like that. But basically motivation is the secret sauce. You can see they got some rain gear. I mean, they got good gear. Yeah, it's like real gear. And, you know, but this is happening all over the place. If you've been on CivDiv's channel, which you absolutely should check out, he too is part of a Ukraine training mission where, frankly, I think even he's come to the realization that his ability to contribute as a individual member of the Foreign Legion pales in comparison to his ability to take his real world knowledge, his deep combat experience, and to give that to these volunteer soldiers, right? Giving 15, 20, 100, 1,000 soldiers the ability to train is huge. So anyway, guys, that's all I had. Oh no, there's one other thing, guys. If you don't know, I've been kicked off of Patreon. So I have started my own site, combatvetnews.com. As you can see, it's got all my YouTube videos for free and a members only section where I have members only content, not just from the archived Patreon video, but we checked out the results of some of this training, which is Ukrainian mech infantry actually doing trench clearing. And so we saw the training, you can see it in action. Of course, YouTube never would let me show these sort of videos, so they're on the members only area of the content. We also have even more trench clearing from, again, Ukrainian mech infantry, this time from a drone footage. So I hope you guys understand and check out the fact that this is how you can support me. YouTube always cracking down, obviously Patreon kicking me off. So, but the fact that you guys are on there supporting me, letting me do this means the world to me. So thank you so much. As always, guys, I'll see you in the next one.